Last week, I got a message from a listener on LinkedIn. I love it. Send me a message on LinkedIn if you have any questions. She was asking about rumination and what to do about rumination. And I was like, girl, I feel you. I know you. I've been there. This is exactly who I am. So today I want to teach you all about how to stop ruminating. And spoiler alert, logic is not the way you get yourself to stop ruminating. It's not going to work, but I'm going to teach you how your brain works, why it ruminates, and how to snap yourself out of it. I'm also going to give you the Post-it note that I keep on my monitor at all times so that you have something that you can use to snap yourself out of rumination any minute that you need to. Before we begin, quick hello. My name's Amber. I'm a performance coach for high achievers, and I have ADHD, which means my brain is designed to hyperfixate and ruminate on things. I spiral out all of the time, and I used to try to use logic on myself. I'm very intellectual. I love to stay in my brain and try to think these things out and try to convince myself otherwise. And it didn't work. And so I did as much research as I could, trying to figure out what rumination is all about. And I have the answers for you. So stick around. Point number 3 was the one that helped me the most as I tried to work on solving my own rumination. So here's why logic doesn't work with rumination. You may be incredibly intelligent and you may see I'm ruminating about this thing and it's not true. The person who wrote in was like, there's something from 5th grade that I can't let go, that thing that I said, how do I stop ruminating about these things? And you've probably tried logic. You've probably tried talking yourself out of it and telling yourself, this isn't true. It's fine. People probably weren't even thinking about it. For me, it's always after a social interaction, oh my gosh, they probably thought I was the most embarrassing person ever. They probably thought I was so awkward. They probably never want to talk to me ever again because the whole experience was too uncomfortable for them. And it's always after those social engagements that I'm overthinking every single thing that I said. Was that funny? Was that not funny? Do they like me? Do they not like me? And I could try to logic my way out of this by being it's fine. The people who like you. And if they don't like you, that's okay. And I would try, but it wouldn't work. You've maybe heard my story on this podcast about when I woke up at 2:00 in the morning with raging anxiety because we couldn't find my son's cleats, which we'd already replaced. And I was trying to logic myself out of that, but my brain wasn't listening to that either. So logic isn't the way out of it, but I'm going to teach you what's going on with your brain. So point number 2 is that the way that you can switch out of this is by understanding which part of your brain is turned on when you're ruminating. So you have 2 parts of your brain. There's the default mode network, and then there's the task positive network. The default mode network is the part of your brain that ruminates. It's also a very creative part of your brain. It's a great part of your brain to have. It's also the part that's kind of in a daydreamy state, but this is the part that's ruminating and it's replaying everything that you did and replaying your life story and thinking about how you did things and how you could have done things differently. And this is the part of your brain where rumination lives. What's interesting is that the default mode network cannot be turned on at the same time as your task positive network. So the task positive network is the part of your brain that's turned on when you're focused on a task. The key here is it does not matter how small the task is. We're going to talk more about that. But the task positive network is it's not quite the flow state, but it's when you're focused on something, when you're thinking about something, when you're paying attention to what you're focusing on next, you're not ruminating because the task positive network and the default mode network cannot be turned on at the same time. So this is a really easy hack. When you find yourself ruminating and you find yourself spiraling out on something, you can turn that off by just getting started on a task. It can be super small. It can be send one email. It can be update one opportunity in Salesforce. It can be fold one pair of socks. It can be super small. It doesn't have to be big, but just getting yourself into that task positive network will shut off the default mode network and it will allow you to stop ruminating. I want to reiterate how small the tasks can be because a lot of times we procrastinate and we get overwhelmed. And the reason we're overwhelmed is because something is too big or it's too unknown. So break it down super small. Here's what I do. I grab a Post-it note. I break down my task really small. I write out every single tiny step. And usually the first step is open a new tab. Do you know how good I am at opening new tabs? I am so good at opening new tabs. And do you know what? dopamine hit that I get after crossing that off my list is so satisfying. Like, I'm already started on this task. Task number 2 usually on my list is like log into whatever the software is that I'm need to log into. Like, check, dopamine hit. I'm on a roll. I already crossed off 2 things on my list. I'm like 5 seconds into this. I'm feeling good about myself. So don't hesitate to make your tasks super ridiculously small. It's going to sound stupid, but it doesn't matter if it works. Okay. It doesn't matter. You can treat yourself like a kindergarten as long as it works. Okay. So breaking down your tasks very small, we talked about the default mode network and the task positive network. So when you get into a task, it shuts it off. Here's what I have written on my Post-it note. I have a Post-it note right in the center of my monitor, and it says, do the next fastest task. That's it. All you have to do is get yourself into motion. Sometimes I want to change this and have it say, do the next simplest task. It doesn't even have to be something important. It can be just getting something done, getting yourself into motion. When you feel that overwhelm, it's usually because you have a task saturation. There's just too much. You're feeling overwhelmed. And if you just get yourself in motion, it's going to turn off the rumination. It's going to turn off the over spiraling. And it's going to get you into the task positive network, which is going to feel so much better. Okay, so I want to pause here really quickly. If this is resonating with you, I just want to give you a shout out that I am going to write all about this in my newsletter. It comes out every Wednesday. And I want you to get that because it's going to have all of the techniques that I've talked about, all the tips, everything that I have on my Post-it note. If you want to get on that list, if this is resonating with you, please do. You can go to mentalmastery.com to get on that list and you'll get that newsletter. Okay, so this gives us point number 3, which is my emergency hatch whenever I'm really hyperfixated on something and really spiraling out. I find somebody that I trust and somebody that I know cares about me and somebody who understands me. And I tell them that I'm spiraling out. I tell them I cannot stop hyperfixating on this thing. I know that I'm like really into it. And what's been really helpful for me is recognizing that I'm not broken. There's not something wrong with me because I'm spiraling out on this and because I'm hyperfixating on this. This is just what my brain does. It's just what my brain does. My brain's super good at it. I could probably win an Olympic award on hyperfixating on things. And so I tell myself, this is not a problem. It's okay. I'm not broken. There's nothing that needs fixing. I don't have to go do a whole bunch of work on myself. I just have to recognize that this is happening. I just need to start to become aware that I have this tendency. This is kind of who I am. This is what I do. And I just have to recognize that that's the thing. And if I can't get myself out of it, I just ask for help. And do you know what? That's okay. You can absolutely ask for help. So my husband and I both work from home. I'll find him. I'll be like, hey, I'm spiraling out. I'm hyperfixated. Here's everything that happened. And usually by the time I just get it off my chest and verbally process it, I feel so much better. If my husband's not available, I call up one of my friends or I send him a voicemail and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm hyperfixated. I'm spiraling out on this thing. Can you help me? And they usually give me a completely different perspective and something that I never even considered. And I'm like, oh, you're totally right. This is exactly what it is. And I can just release it and let it go. This is what I recommend to all of my coaching clients. I'm like, all of my clients have access to me on Slack, and I recommend they send me voice memos in between sessions because it's so satisfying to verbally process what you're thinking about, what you're struggling with, and what you're hyperfixated on. And then you've got a coach on the other side to help you through it at any time. So this is my last piece of advice. Find somebody that you trust, somebody that knows you. Let them know you're hyperfixated on something. You don't need them to fix you. You just need them to help you out of it. And usually that does the trick. I hope this was helpful. If you have any additional questions, send them over to me. Come connect with me on LinkedIn. Just search my name, Amber Deibert. And I would love to hear what you want to hear about on this podcast. Also, if this was helpful, if it resonates, you should get on my newsletter. In my newsletter, I'm going to recap everything we talked about. You'll have it in your inbox. You can reference it anytime. For when you're hyperfixating on something, you can go back and have a cheat sheet of how to get through it. And if this was helpful, hit subscribe. I'd love to see you here next week in my next video. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.